Good afternoon, Your Honor. Warren Freeman here on behalf of Saxon Apartments. And I'd like to say Barbara Message should be on Mesa Management should be on the video. Barbara Mesa.
That is on Zoom. She is affiliated with Saxon Apartments.
Yes.
And sir, what is your name?
Harry Cohen.
Welcome.
Thank you, welcome.
We are here on a non-payment of rent matter. Let me start by asking the tenant, are you still residing at this property?
No, ma'am.
You vacated?
Well, I vacated, but I haven't turned over the keys.
Okay, do you still have property there?
No,
Okay. So let me tell you what I normally do in these
Wait,
circumstances.
I'd like to say something. He still has property in the unit. He goes back into the unit, still goes into the place. He's taking pictures and films, claiming mold. But if you look at the document support, they did a mold inspection. There was never any. There was also never any in the first unit that we allowed him to move. What's holding it up? They offered him to vacate with no penalty. He's just got to turn his keys in and sign a waiver. He chooses not to, and he wants to sue for something that doesn't exist.
Okay, let's
And he
hit
still
pause
has
for 1
property in the
second,
unit.
okay? Let me ask you this. I'm gonna give you all the time to respond. There's just some preliminary questions that I need the answers to, so I can see how we're going to progress in the
Yes, ma'am.
hearing. Do you still have the keys?
yes, I do.
Okay. When a tenant has vacated and has removed all their property and turns over their keys, I deny summary eviction because they've handed the unit back over to the landlord. So I'm happy to hear what you have to say. It sounds like there are good grounds for me to deny summary eviction if you wish to turn over the keys. You don't have to sign a waiver for me. I will just deny the eviction.
Okay, well, see, look, can I speak?
Yeah, hold on 1 second though. Let me get some information from council. What do you show the outstanding balance in rent as?
$3,571.73.
And the default is going back to when?
March.
March default. Sir, you wanted to tell the court something. Go ahead.
Yes, I don't know how they're saying they have proof that there wasn't mold, because I had a professional come out and test for mold using air samples, and a toxic mold was found. Right, I have lab results. I sent them this. So I don't know when. I also have two sets here, one for the opposing side and one for the court, of a chain of emails that will describe, it shows the discussion of that originally earlier in February, I had worked out a deal with them to just vacate, turning the keys, right? No paying the penalties, nothing like that, right? We were just gonna go our separate ways. But as counsel for the other side said, they demanded I sign a waiver for liability, releasing them of all liability. There are a lot of things to sue for, because 2 units I was in at this place, right? The first unit I was in for 2 weeks. I suspected there was something in there making me sick right away, because from day one, I was breaking out in cold sweats, muscle fatigue, headaches, all types of mold symptoms. And then a category 3 sewer water flood occurred. I have photographs of that. I also have videos. A lot of my property was damaged. Thousands of comic books, right? I had just moved in, wasn't even done unpacking. Thousands of comic books, 2 showcases, expensive, like store display showcases, bookshelves made out of wood, metal file cabinets, all rusted, right? And I have their maintenance guy on tape admitting it was caused by maintenance being performed on the plumbing, right? And so then at that point, barely 2 weeks into me being there, I had threatened to break the lease. I said, I think there's mold there. I'm gonna have it tested. They offered to move me to another unit upstairs, which I reluctantly accepted. You will see in the evidence that I have here on the walkthrough, the horrible condition of that unit. It was not completely renovated. It was missing a lot of stuff. The floor was in horrible shape. Shoddy work. It looked like it was in the middle of being done. Freshly painted, right? And they expected me, and I had no choice because the other room smelled like sewer and it was making me sick from the suspected mold down there. I had to move to that other unit. right? I had no choice. Freshly painted room, 72 hours, you're supposed to let paint fumes dry. And I have proof, right? I videoed the entire walkthrough, which they did not perform with me, right? All the things that were wrong. This floor looks like there was some water damage there before. And I suspect this whole entire building, because it is an old hotel, it is made from old materials that are susceptible to mold. This is what the mold inspector told me, and this is what the research I've done told me. The mold's gonna keep coming back. If he says that they have proof that there's no mold there, I would like to see that. And a matter of fact, if he wants to argue that, I would like to post a bond for the rent for both months and have county enforcement or city of Las Vegas enforcement come out and do their own mold test and see. I'll pay to have my mold guy come back and do another test today.
All right, let's pause for 1 second. There are a lot of different kinds of cases. You're here for today for a summary eviction case. A summary eviction case, I have to answer 2 questions when it comes to non-payment of rent. Number 1, have you paid the rent? Or number 2, have you vacated the property? You have vacated the property. So I am going to deny summary eviction. This court doesn't ever deal with claims related to issues with the property. So if you feel you were given a property that was inappropriate, it had mold, you have damages as a result, comic books and bookshelves and metal cabinets and all those things, you very well may have a claim, but it's not in this court. It's a separate court. This court just deals with possession. I don't order people to pay money. I don't order, damages of any kind. I just decide who gets possession of the property. You've already told me you're out and all your things are out. As soon as you hand over the keys, I'm going to deny summary eviction, and then you're free to proceed with your civil action or small claims case in the appropriate forum. Okay.
I see.
My client disposed of everything in the unit because he's moved out and he says nothing's in the unit.
I disposed of the couch that was in there.
Hold on, sir, 1 second.
So anything left in the unit, we're allowed to dispose of.
Yes,
right
you
away.
have nothing that you want back in the unit.
I will say this, the only thing that I have still left there are some comic books, stand up piece of cardboard. They're about life size, meaning his height, right? That were damaged in the sewer water
Do
flood.
you want them or no?
I would prefer if they bag those up because they're evidence. They smell like sewer water. But if they want to throw them out, that's fine, because I have several thousand comic books that smell like sewer water, sir.
Okay, so then I just want to be clear for the record, you're not interested in getting any of the property that's left behind.
No, ma'am.
Okay, based on that, then I will note that, do you have the keys on you now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, based on that, I will note that landlord may change the locks without the assistance of the constable. Tenant is going to hand the keys to my marshal, and my marshal will turn them over to counsel. The landlord can dispose of property left behind without any liability to the tenant based on the statements that the tenant has made to the court today. And then after that happens, I will conditionally deny a summary eviction.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank
But
you.
again, you got the records to show there was another.
That will be for another courtroom, another judge, and another day. Okay.
So, ma'am, may I ask a question?
Of course you may.
So the summary eviction is denied, but are these people gonna be allowed to ruin my really good credit score behind a false claim, non-payment for rent, or is it a matter for those?
So the case seals, that means it's off your record and nobody will have access to it. I don't work for any of the credit reporting bureaus or services, so I don't know what the criteria is. And so I'm not comfortable answering that question. If it's going to have any impact on your credit, I don't know, but there are certainly ways that you can go about assisting that it not affect your credit. There are agencies that help people with those sorts of situations. Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.